Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited for this conversation. I am here with Sue Yerou, and did I say that right?
Yes.
And Erika Carlucci. Y'all have the best names I've ever heard, ever. Sue Yerou, that's amazing. Erika Carlucci, what? So
No kidding.
badass. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, guys. What's so cool is that the three of us work in very different fields. I'm decluttering, and Sue is personal style, and Erica is interior design. And we all actually, in some way, do very similar things. And that is we help women support the life that they want to live. So, can you just tell the audience a little bit about what you do and how you help people? So, Sue, tell us in your own words about what you do.
Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you so much, both of you, for coordinating this opportunity. I'm really excited for the three of us to dive in. I am Sue Yerou. I am originally from New York, but I have moved and live in San Francisco, California for the past 16 years. And this is where I launched my business. Style Rehab was my original name for this business. I fall into the lines of coach, someone to support you with maybe you're hitting a milestone birthday and just want a reboot. Maybe you're having a shift in your career. We were all talking about those pivot years since 2020. And so many women are pivoting their career, and I also have worked with musicians and performers, folks who by day are a professional, a scientist even, and then by night they're a jazz singer. And so how do they fall into those two places and build wardrobes for those two experiences? This is where I step in as a guide, as a support, and just give them that extra bump, that boost that they need, some organization as well, how to organize that closet, how to declutter the things that no longer serve who they are today, no longer bring them that joy, that confidence. And I will just share with you both, and I hope this comes up later in our conversation, that this not only is a gift that my client is giving to themselves, it is a gift to me. I am also the recipient of this experience and this journey. Because when I work with someone and we collaborate in their closet or out shopping and we put something together, and they look at themselves with this new outfit, they 100% say this to me in every session. I never would have put this together. That's why I'm here. And they look at themselves with this outfit on that is so new, and they put a little hip into it. They tilt their head a little bit. They have a smile that they're almost afraid to show the smile on their face. And that is just the greatest gift to me. It really shows me, yes, I have made an impact on someone's life in this simple way. For me, it's simple. And for them, it's a mountain that they've just climbed. And so building that trust to let me into this sacred space of their closet, of their body, is just an enormous gift to me and gives me the most glory and respect and clarity for myself, and that I know that this is the work that I'm meant to be doing.
Ugh,
But that's
thank
kind
you
of
for
it.
sharing that. No, this is so cool. I wrote down a few things I want to talk about, but first I want to hear from Erica. Okay, so Erica, tell us about how you help your clients.
Well, first, so excited to be here with you two amazing, brilliant, lovely ladies. And I absolutely love what you just said, Sue, about how you are the receiver, because I feel the same way with my clients. Creating them, letting me into their home, into their spaces, into their private lives is is an honor, and I respect that. And to see the transformation in the end, and to see their reaction is really, the highlight of the job ultimately. And so you just brought that to light because that is not something I was going to say, but it truly, it's the truth. I mean, I think that's why we all do what we do, probably just to see that in other people is amazing. A little bit about me. I am an interior designer here in Park City, Utah, but I will go anywhere my clients need me. This is my home base. I do new builds, remodels. I do anything as small as, yeah, a little bathroom and just reimagining a space for the lifestyle that my clients either want to project or are trying to project. I mean, your home is one of the biggest investments you're going to make in your entire life. So I am here to help provide clarity. I mean, it's a lot of decisions. It can be decision fatigue. There's so many choices when it comes to your home and the furnishings and the finishes. And so I'm here to guide my clients in making those big decisions and to create a space that tells their story and to help them, have a functional home for their lifestyle, really.
So cool. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, the way that this kind of all came together for this podcast episode is that Erica's been friends with Sue for a long time. And what happened was, Erica reached out to me. She's like, Amber, Sue is so awesome. You should have her on your show, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, because she just helped me with my closet and she went through my closet and helped me with all these, outfits. And anyway, she was so pumped, so just excited about what she did with Sue. Can both of y'all talk about that experience a little bit? And the reason why is because I think it'll help people understand what it's like to be a client of Sue's, what she does for women inside their closets, and what it was like to be go through that experiance.
So
Yeah.
good. I'll tell you, it was so good.
Was it?
Yes, I mean, everybody should have a Sue because it was amazing. I like my clothes, but you want to love your clothes and you want it to project who you want or how you want others to see you. And so I just had a lot of stuff that I did not need. I mean, a lot. And I think probably most of us do. And we're holding on to things, holding on to memories, holding on to moments, holding on to a body that we used to have, right, Sue? I mean, she explained that to me, like, do you want to look like you did when you went to that festival or whatever it may be, How do you want, and I liked your example too, Sue, in your opening about the person who has a different day life into their nightlife, because you do have to either you carry yourself from day to night, or maybe you have two different parts of your life that you want to project in a certain way. So I don't have that, but I think that's really cool. But it was amazing. So it
Did you
made me
guys
feel
get rid
really
of
good.
a lot of stuff, Erica?
We did. Well, I mean, and I did even more after Sue left because she was visiting me here in Utah, but I probably got rid of 8 garbage bags full of stuff. Yeah.
8 garbage bags?
So good.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
wild. And then Sue, so how do you decide? Like what's your process?
So, quite a few things here. Erica had and has three closets, actually, three closets full.
They're not
And
giant. I just want to clarify that.
but
Little closet.
I think that she doesn't do much purge, and she's lived all over the world and shopped all over the world while she was living in these places like Milan and Sydney, Australia, and Chicago and LA. So she has accumulated a lot of things and a lot of versions of herself from those time in her life. And she now living in Utah, she has 4 seasons or maybe 2 seasons, really, winter and summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what fits into that lifestyle and also taking on the career that she has and who is her audience in that career. and also maintaining her lifestyle as a mom and date night and friends gatherings and dinners and all of those fun things and festivals and music and things like that that she enjoys. So again, what she was building in her wardrobe for Milan might not necessarily translate to when she was living in Sydney and moving on to now Utah. So that was representative in her wardrobe. That's what we were starting with, was a lot of different versions of Erika, and that is very common in people's wardrobe. What Erika and I have that takes time for me to build with clients, and maybe the two of you experience this as well because we're working in something very personal, is that Erika and I know each other for a long time. So we were able to really power through
Dive in.
a lot of
I was ready to mentally to purge. So, going through some different times in my life right now. So it was just that time, and I knew it already before we even started. So that was a good place to be.
part of my process is identifying where the oddball items are in a closet, what is the rhythm of the closet, what is the patterns in the closet. And so when I see something that doesn't flow into that closet, I pull that out immediately. That's one of the first things that I look for, is the odd pieces that are not part of the story of a closet. Knowing where Erika has been also in her history in her life, that's something that I didn't really have to question her about. And so I began with organizing. We pretty much pulled a lot, if not all, of the things out of the closet. Normally, I'll have a clothing rack with me for a client, and that's where I can start pulling things out of the closet and onto the rack and organizing, and then pulling from there things that will be questioned before we put anything into the to go pile or the move forward pile. I questioned her about things. I definitely made her try things on. Where are they fitting now? There were things that in every closet, things that are weathered, they have seen their better days. Sometimes those things we can camouflage, or if they're really an amazing dynamic piece that we want to hold on to. But for the most part, if it's got a stain or a tear or pulls or pilling, that's time for it to move out. And
Yeah.
then we can replace it.
And the other
Um,
thing that I love that you said a few times to me is pay it forward. And I love that. And so that made me think, this is going to look so good on someone else. This is not my era for this anymore. This belongs to some 20, 30-year-old,
I
So
love
pay it
that.
forward.
That's right. Pay it forward. That's something that I do constantly in my wardrobe as I'm evolving with the person who I am and where I'm taking my business and where I see myself in my business. I go through my closet and say, this doesn't represent that part of my life now. That does not belong in the story of who I am today. That is not part of my now closet story. So I'm paying it forward to a friend who I know can rock it, will love it. It's part of her story, etc. So yes, that's something that is part of my routine with a closet. And
So
just having
cool.
fun and creating new outfits, of course, creating new combinations. Asking Erika, what do you normally wear this top with? What do you normally pair these pair of pants with? And she'll show me a combination. And so we put that on, we take a photo, and now she's getting inspired by her closet and feeling energized by her closet and excited to showcase what we're creating. And now she's feeling even more empowered as she steps out. What she shared with me was who her client is and how her client shows up to their meetings and their first meet. So that was important too, because I wanted her to be relatable and trustworthy to her clients. That's something for all of us to keep in mind, is knowing your audience, whether you're on a stage singing jazz music or you are presenting a pitch or sales or selling your services. Know your audience.
There's so many layers to what, you know, all of us do. And there's that whole aesthetic layer, like this designy, so kind of what Sue was saying as far as like, the first thing that you do is you look at the colors in the closet. What's kind of not fitting in here? And I'm sure it's the same thing with Erica and designing a home. It's like, you have to look at this element that is very concrete and very obvious. And it's like, okay, what is aesthetically visually pleasing, and then you have this other layer that is the person, what's really going to align with this person's lifestyle, for one thing, with design and with clothes and with what I do, their lifestyle, what feels right, what is going to make them feel more confident, what is going to make them want them. And Erica, I'm curious, you want your client, I'm assuming, to come into their home and be like, yes, I am so proud of this place. I am so excited. I want to have people over. I want to just be here. I love it, and to have that feeling is so much bigger than just like the colors. But there is both. There's both in all of our work. Erica, when you're working with your clients, do you see those layers, and like how do you, I mean, I don't even know what my question is really. There are two layers. There's the obvious like aesthetic design, but then there's this underneath, like how does the client feel? And do you look at both of those, and how do you approach that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think it's exactly what you said. It's the space, but then you also have the person living in the space or persons. I mean, normally it's not just one person. So
Totally.
it's how many people are living there? Is this a family? Is this do they have an outdoor lifestyle, which is very popular here? Do they entertain a lot? Do they work from home? Do they have pets? So it's really a lot of it is also is the male or female making all the decisions, or are they making them together as a couple? Because at least as far as I have found, it's usually one or the other that is ultimately making most of the decisions. Sometimes there's a little bit of collaboration in the relationship, but mostly one person is kind of calling the shots. And who is that person? So you have to understand that dynamic. So I do feel like there's a little bit of psychology and just getting to know people and how they live, of course, before you even begin the process. There's the obvious questions. What colors do they like? Do they like texture? Do they like wood? Do they like the natural? Do they want to bring the outdoors in? So those kind of things are really important. I think it's just getting to know them, getting to understand how they want to live, how they want to project. If they are having lots of company, how do they want to project to the people that are coming over? Your space, like I said before, it needs to tell a story, I think. I mean, when you walk into a beautiful home, it can be beautiful, but it can be cold and it can be stark and it's not inviting. It's maybe gorgeous, but it just doesn't feel, you don't exhale when you go, you don't feel at home. You don't feel, oh, I've arrived. So I would prefer to create those spaces for my clients that are a reflection of them. It's not about me, it's about them. So getting to know them is so important.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, like, you must have to really get to know them. It's not like you can say they can just show you their, you know, like take a photo of their living room and be like, okay, Erica, fix this. Like, it seems like maybe you can't do that. I mean, maybe you could. I know you could because I know you. But I mean, I also think that you probably would need to talk to, you would really need to get to know them.
You do. Yeah, absolutely do. Yes, you could create a beautiful space, and I've done it before, just as I'm sure, you put a beautiful outfit on someone, but if you don't really know them and know them at the core, then like I said, it's just a pretty room at the end of the day.
And then it
It's,
won't resonate with them
No,
either,
no.
right? They won't have that moment of go, oh, this is so pretty, but it's really not me. That's not my style. And that reflective is the same for the closet story and the home story. That's it. That's what these people want. what our clients want. And
What
hear
we
it.
all want. We want to feel like like what our environment. I mean, going back to the like beginning of what we were talking about, like the environment, whether it's the stuff we keep in our home, whether it's the design, whether it's what we wear, we want to make sure our environment reflects who we are on the inside. I'm fascinated by that aspect of all things that are both external and internal, both aesthetic and energetic. How do you help your clients and you figure out the balance there? So, Sue, what about for you? How do you do that?
My first thought is about color and how color impacts our being, our emotion, our sensitivity. And color is a big aspect, obviously, to what we're wearing. Some colors work well in others because of our skin tone, our hair color, but color can impact how we feel in a moment. Blue is a calming color. And Erika, I know you can certainly speak to this because, but I think it really directly relates to what I'm working with as well, is working with color. When you walk into a room, you are immediately impacted by the color that's on the walls. And then on top of that, the furniture color, the art color, it's a big energetic experience. And the same resides for what a person is wearing. So if a person is lively and bubbly, I'm going to encourage them to wear color because it aligns with their personality and then also encourages them, or it's kind of like a, what is it called? Kryptonite, if you will, for them. When they walk into a room, they know that they are light and bubbly, and they will have this color that just feels so great on them based on that personality because they want to shine, they want to stand out. And then there are folks who don't want to stand out or shine in the room. They want to blend in, be a little more modest. So we talk about color for that personality as well. What's going to impact you in that room when you walk into that room? So, Erika, I pass the baton to you because I know that color is a major point and focal for your work.
Oh, sure. Definitely. Absolutely. Color. I love it. It's my favorite topic. And I was just thinking about this before the podcast about something simple that you can do with color, depending on who you are, I mean, this goes exactly back to what you do and how you look and feel in a color. But I'm going to go straight to the bedroom. Let's just not beat around the bush. But um, we're going to the bedroom and we're going to the sheets. Simple, easy thing to change in your life, just to make you shine. And if you are in that stage of life where you are not in a relationship, you're having people over to your home, and maybe you are in a relationship, you still want to look and feel good in your bed. So getting sheets, if you have those popping blue eyes like I know you do, then maybe you want some light blue sheets. I've got green and kind of touches of gold, so I think khaki sheets look really good on my background. But if you have dark skin, maybe it's ivory. But this is something you can play with, and it's not an expensive, going out and buying a sofa isn't what we're going to do every day, but getting new sheets on your bed can be something that makes you feel really good.
Yes,
I
you kind
love
of just
that.
blew my mind, Erica. That is brilliant. I mean, it's like we've spent so much time thinking about this outfit that we're gonna wear once every couple months or whatever. And then, but it's your sheets that you sleep in every single night. I mean, that is such a great place to spend the money, you know?
Yeah, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, you can obviously, but you don't. Go to your local Home Goods. They're going to have something
Mm-hmm.
you'll
Love me
love.
some home goods. Dude, Sue, I was obsessed with the color red. Obsessed. I don't know why. I had this tiny little dining room area and I wallpapered it bright ass red. You walked in there and it was when I had a brand new baby. So I had this little
Oh
baby
boy.
girl. Her name's Fiona. And when you have a little baby, all you want to do is take pictures of them. So I would take my baby into this room and I couldn't take pictures in there because it turned my baby red and I
Yes. Oh my
couldn't take
goodness.
It was terrible. And then I was like, well, obviously, this is how horrible I was. And Erica knows, like, I really have to make all my mistakes on my own. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, Erica, help me. No, that's not me. I'm like, no, let me screw everything up and then I'll ask for help. Okay. So anyway, I had this other room, the living room, and I was like, well, clearly I just need to spread the red around.
Oh
It's
my
just it's
goodness.
just too much red in one
Oh
space.
my
And
goodness.
so then I added red and a lot of red into this other room. And so this whole house was just like bright red. It
On
was so
fire.
funny. Yeah. Anyway, and then I ended up painting over it. That's the end of my red house story. But
What did
It had
that,
to be
no,
a certain shade of red though. It wasn't too orange, wasn't, you know.
but what did that red do for you, Amber, when you would walk into those rooms? You were obsessed with the color, but then you'd walk into this, specifically this smaller room that is fully red. What did that energy do to you?
oh man, that's such a great question. So many things. It did so many things to me. First of all, I felt very like frustrated with myself because I was like, why did you do this? So there was that. I mean, even if that wasn't conscious, I'm like, this room is so bright. It's like I hated it. And but and how did it make me feel? I felt like I made a mistake. I guess that's how it made me feel. Yeah.
Well,
And then
why?
just like not calm, the opposite of calm. It made me feel like activated, which is fine, but not all the time, you know?
Well, as a new
Yeah,
mom, you probably needed a lot of energy and you know,
right,
read.
right.
I
I
don't know.
needed to
I'm
relax. I
pulling
should have made it.
excuses for you, but yeah, I mean, and that's kind of like we talked a little bit about your environment, and I said the positive with the sheets, but there's also the negative. I mean, you can go into the red room or go into the room with the piece of furniture that's way too big. Way, you're walking around it every day. The dresser that's like too big, and you have to walk around to the bed, and you can't get through, and oh my gosh, so frustrating. So those are the things that in clutter, I mean, Amber, you know, that's the big one. Just a messy space can just create so much frustration, so much, you know, non-clarity in your life. And you don't
But
walk into that room and exhale.
that background behind Erica is real and should be used for every Zoom background. It's so beautiful that she designed and curated.
I love all our backgrounds. They're just fitting. This is my
And
space though. I did this for today. So I put this little background together just for this. This is not my office, but this is one of my favorite spaces in my house.
yeah,
So,
beautiful.
you know,
And
something easy you can do. Anybody who's listening, just move some stuff around. Put something on the shelves. Put something that makes you happy around you.
love that.
Yeah.
I am super curious for both of you guys. What made you how did you even like get interested in this, Sue? What was your initial progression towards being wardrobe stylist?
I was always fascinated and interested in fashion and style, my own personal style. I'm an artist at my core. I've always been viewing life outside the box, and was supported with my family who love being inside the box. But they were very supportive of my risk taking and adventure and exploring lifestyle. I did go to the Fashion Institute in New York. That's where I was trained. And it was always my dream to be a stylist. I always wanted to be a stylist. I always wanted to dress other people, knowing an aesthetic. But my life took me on a path into advertising and imagery through photography. So I maintained that aesthetic eye and further developed it, learning color and aesthetic, so that when I did move to from New York to Sydney, was inspired by Sydney and all the beauty that was there in color and design and designers. It was a cosmopolitan city as well as a beach environment, a lot of local designers thinking outside the box, making beautiful things. My style changed from a New York perspective to now a beach perspective. And I love that part of myself. And I know that that happens with people when we move. especially to another country or another climate. And then when I came to California, specifically NorCal, which is very different from SoCal, and San Francisco with a Silicon Valley twist, I knew this was where I was going to step into my stylist role and push it and work with people, because I knew here that it was not New York City where fashion is in your face. Fashion is in your face everywhere you are. Whereas in San Francisco, it is not. There are folks, very creative folks here, but the Silicon Valley wave really took over the Bay Area. And there was a signature look called the hoodie that made its way to Wall Street and rang a
Yeah.
bell. But the hoodie was very popular for both men and women, and so it was a
Yeah.
dress down appeal. But I know that's not where people are in their core, right? Some people are, and they're in a closed room, they're in a quiet space, they're just them and their computer, head down. There is that. But then there are the folks who are client facing. And it was very confusing, especially for women in a very male dominated industry. How do I stand out but get credibility and don't come to the table as very feminine, girly? How are we going to trust this person? What's her credibility? Just by how she's dressed, because we're here comfortable as a CEO in a hoodie. And so, how does a woman gain her femininity or express her femininity and be trusted in that boardroom and make a point of the leadership role that she's stepping into or is at? So, that is where it's curiosity can be a challenge for women here in Silicon Valley. When do I wear the skirt?
Well, it kind of goes back to what we were saying before about how if you put something on a person and their energy is so elevated that that it doesn't almost matter what they're wearing. You know what I mean? It matters to them because it makes them feel a certain way. But it doesn't, I mean, whether it's a hoodie or a skirt or whatever, if it's unique to that person and if it makes them feel like high vibe, like, hey, I am, I'm the shit, then that's what they should be wearing. You know what I mean? I think that it's so cool what outfits can do. I mean, what clothes can do as far as that, especially as far as that angle, like what does it bring out of me? And I think that that's such a cool, I mean, that whole aspect of everything we're talking about, that whole inner and outer world convergence. At what point does the outer world not matter? And it's all about what aligns with what makes your soul really take off. And I think I just think that that's just the coolest thing about what we do.
It is, and but you know what in my world, what the next level to that is editing and doing an edit,
Yeah.
right? So we can get to that spot, get to that place, and look in the mirror and have our tilt and have our smile and have our wink at ourselves and the I love you moment, and then say, where am I going? Who is my audience? Who's going to be in the room? What is my goal? What is my message? And then we edit what we just created. We're not going to pare it down so far that we are not expressing who we are and who we want to be, our joy, and what makes us feel good. But we also do need to consider where you're going, who's in the room, what's my goal, what's my message.
Right.
Because how is it going to land? We can only control it so much.
It's like
So
I'm thinking about my yoga pants might make me feel like so alive, but like that's not what you would wear to a pitch.
for me, I'm encouraging clients to bring a piece of themselves to that pitch. For those who are pitching, bring a piece of yourself there with you, obviously. And you are part of your business model. You are part of your marketing tool. That's why I've created a style strategy. They have a business strategy, a customer strategy, a marketing strategy. You are part of that strategy. And so that's why I've built a style strategy.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that. What is your style strategy? If someone were to work with you, would you help them with this strategy? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So it's everything that I've just said. It's where are you? What rooms are you going into? What level are you at right now? Who are you? What makes you different? What makes you unique? Do we want to express that in some way, a small way, a loud way, a big way? Does it benefit the pitch? Does it benefit the marketing message? I worked with someone recently who told me he has been a soccer coach for 25 years and now he was going into sales. And I said, well, sales, all of those skills as a soccer coach are transferable into your sales
Right.
and to your sales skills. So let's find a way to show people before you even say, hello, my name is, I'm a soccer coach, or I have been a soccer coach. It's like an opening. So I bought him this very small gold, beautiful pin for his lapel on his jacket to wear that people would notice and that he would notice walking into that moment. And no, I'm also a soccer coach. I've been a soccer coach for 25 years. I've got chops, I've got skills. And so, whether it's him bringing it up or the person he's interacting with, wow, what a beautiful pin. Are you into soccer? Well, I've been a soccer coach for 25 years. Whoa. Yeah. And I come to the table with boom, 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 boom as I'm selling you my product, my service, my thing. It's finding those nuances that's part of the strategy as well. But again, who's my audience? What rooms am I stepping into? What is the expectation? I've got 7 seconds or less to make an impression because people are already thinking and sizing me up, for lack of a better term. They're sizing me up the minute I walk in the room. So, how much control can I have over that? We can't control it 100%, but we can influence. And so we talk about that and we start building that out. And what is your overall goal? Each person has their own unique story. And I always go back to story. We all have one. And so that's what I'm digging in with this person, bringing it out. So it's a lot of deep conversation, a lot of figuring out who you are, where you're going, where are you now? Let's bring all of that wardrobe to where we are now and where we're going. Are you traveling? How much traveling are we doing? We have to build that out as well, the travel wardrobe. Are we on stages? Where are you? Where are you going? Who's the audience?
That's so interesting. And then for Erica, somebody calls you, "Hey, I'm looking for a designer." Like, what is the sort of process?
I think so many of the things that Sue touched on are really the same. I mean, and I've touched on as well, the psychology of getting to know the client and how they live is so important. And we really are people. I mean, our jobs, even though they come across as creative, and they are, but we are being creative in the eye is a reflection of how this other person that we're getting to know and understand as we work with them, how they want to project into the world in their spaces, in their clothing, and who is their audience, because that's not going to be the same as my audience, of course. So yeah, I mean, it's who, again, who comes to the home, how they live in the home. Sue and I have so many path crossing moments. It's funny that we both ended up in these fields because when we met, we were not. We met in Australia. And
Oh.
I think I met her when I had started school, but I was going for a second career in Australia. So I was already in a creative job and space just as she was. And I had actually done some retouching, which I know Sue has also done. So we had that in common and that background, but we met in Australia and we both came from these creative backgrounds. We're both Capricorns. Amazing.
That's right. Where were you? Where did you guys meet?
Where were
We met through our friend Annette. Shout
yeah,
out to Annette. We were in the Rocks in
yeah,
Sydney and we
which
went
is
for
where I
lunch.
went to
That's
school.
right, because we were by
What's
your
the
school.
rocks?
It's an area. It's a very cool area by
The,
the harbor, Sydney Harbor.
a neighborhood, really cool neighborhood,
You can see the Opera House and the water. It's beautiful.
right under the bridge, right under the Sydney Bridge,
Whoa.
Harbor Bridge. And we went to lunch because the two of you were in school together, you and Annette, and I was working in that neighborhood. So we met for lunch, and that was it.
So you
Yeah,
That's
guys were
all.
both friends with Annette.
Yes,
you're both friends with Annette from Hungary, I believe.
yes, Yep.
And she's now doing a wedding. Her and I went to school together, as Sue mentioned, and she is now doing wedding and event planning. So funny that we're all in different but creative fields.
Visual field.
And I don't know if you knew this, Sue, but I was accepted to fashion design school back long, another lifetime ago. Didn't go. Decided to go with my father's advice, and he didn't think you could make it as a creative in this world. And, I went and got a biology degree. Well, look what happened with that. What I do right now, there's so much measuring, especially in new builds. Well, any of it really. I mean, space planning is so important. I use math every single day. So getting that biology degree wasn't all for naught.
I wanted to just share an experience I recently had with a client that really shows the partnership that an interior designer and I have. I was asking the client to send me photos of herself just ahead of time before we even met in person. It's part of the process. And so she did, and she took a photo of herself in her bedroom. And I didn't know much about this woman, but I did know that she had a bubbly personality. And I see that bedroom and I'm like, whose bedroom is that? That is not this woman's bedroom. So fast forward, we're in the session, we've gone through the closets, we're creating new outfits, we're making our shopping list. And she says to me, she has this second bedroom that was just a blank bed in it. It had nothing more in there. And I knew it was in a transition. And I said, what's happening with this room? Oh, I want to make it into my office. I want to bring somebody in to help me. And I said to her, I said, I revealed to her. I said, when I saw the photo of you in the bedroom, there was something amiss in my mind about this. This bedroom was very much gray, square, no artwork, minimal, very bland. And I said, from the person that I'm meeting today and what I know of you and who we're dressing for, I just see this vibrant, full of life, very feminine woman. And so would you want to work with someone on your bedroom and that building that office out? Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so glad that you took hold of that and are seeing that and are recognizing that. Yes, I'm ready. And she really is at a point that she's ready to do this work, and not just have it be about her wardrobe, but have it be that moment she walks into her home and goes into her sacred space of her bedroom and building out her workspace now as an opportunity, an incredible opportunity for her to find someone to collaborate with to best represent her as she's creating this life because she's hitting a milestone birthday. And so she's treating herself, as we often women forget to do. And kudos to her for saying, yes, I choose me. I'm celebrating me. And this milestone birthday is that moment. And I'm going to go all the way with it. So it's those moments that, Erika and I have complete alignment. Interior designer and stylist, that's what we're doing for people.
If there's one thing that you would recommend to somebody listening that they could do in their wardrobe, if you're going to your closet, you're like, "Oh my God, I have so much stuff. I can't even find something to wear, but I've got stuff that won't even fit in my closet." What would you recommend? What would be the very first step for somebody to start to tackle this from a stylist perspective?
Well, of course, the stylist is going to say, pick up the phone and call Sue Yerou. And I'll work with you remotely
Yes.
and I'll work with you in person. You can really get in a mode, whether it's putting on music or calling in a friend or having no music at all and just the windows open, some bright light in your space where your closets are, and just be honest. Put your honest cap on and go into that closet, pull everything out, or just pull out a few things that you're confused about. Pull those confused items out, put them on. If they're still too confusing for you, pass them forward. Pass them forward,
Pay it
give
forward. I
them new
love that.
life, give them new life to someone else, and bring those friends over. Now that you've got a pile of those things, because you will have a pile of those things, and invite your girlfriends over. Make it fun, make it light. It doesn't have to be this, oh my goodness, overwhelming, heavy moment. It's more of like spring cleaning, how we love to do spring cleaning. You're going to find that you build space in your closet. You're going to rediscover things that are in the back of the closet with dust on it, because that's what happens. And you pull those things out, and you might find a gem in there that you forgot about, and you'll pull it out and you say, oh no, I'm not paying this forward. This is for me. I'm going to rejuvenate this.
Yeah.
That would be my first suggestion after calling a stylist, is to really just do a simple purge, a reignite, find what's in there, bring some girlfriends over to pass it forward to. That's part of the fun, because then you get to see your friends showcasing something that you loved.
It's so true. It's like you can turn this into a party. Come over, let's have a drink and try on some clothes, or don't try on the clothes, just take them. It could be fun. And then for Erica, what would be if somebody, okay, they're like, I am so done with this room. I have got to upgrade. What would be something not super expensive, but something that they could do in their home to make a vibe change?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I mean, the easiest thing to do is move things around. But I would say, take a stroll through your house. Start from where you walk in the home and say, do I like how I feel? Is this a reflection of who I am now or who we are if it's a relationship, and just stroll through your home. See it almost like you're an outsider. You clearly want it to be your home and comfortable, but we're viewing it as kind of from the outside a little bit too. And how does that make you feel when you're walking through this home? Is it a safe space? Is it a comfortable space? Is it welcoming space? Do you want to feel like a creative? Do you want to add more color? Do you want to add more artwork? Do you want it to be more playful, more fun? So just walk through your home and see what is serving you, what you like, what you don't like. Take inventory, and things are expensive. Furniture is expensive. It's not something you can't make maybe this giant transformation in an hour, but do little things. It's the small things that add up. If you do want to make a big transformation, call an expert. That's what I'm here to help with. If you do want to get that new sofa, but you can't decide on a color that goes with everything else in the room, then that is maybe a good time to call someone to help. And maybe it's not an expert if you don't want to spend that type of money, but maybe it's like you said, your friends. You come have some people over, have some wine, to have some appetizers, talk about the house. What do you think about this sofa? Should I do a sectional instead? Should I do two sofas? It's in front of the TV, but I want this to be more of a conversational room. I think dining rooms are so important. That's where you're going to always, and kitchens, where you're going to be gathering. So to me, the most important spaces are the kitchen and the bedroom because we spend so much time there. I also think the entry is pretty important. You want to feel good when you walk into the home. So those would be like my three kind of key areas. If I was making a change, where I would make the change, where I would spend the money. Bathroom and kitchen updates are expensive. So if you're ready for those kind of big transformations and you don't know what to do, or you're having that decision fatigue, again, it's a time to call an expert in. You don't want to make those really expensive mistakes.
I love what you said, Erica, about moving stuff around. That is just so fun, and it really does make the whole room look different. And yeah, I think that's so cool. And also, if you are going to make a big ticket purchase like a cat, furniture is crazy expensive. And if you're going to make a big ticket purchase, yeah, call somebody like Erica to tell you, hey, don't buy the red one or whatever it is. I think that is so, it's in the end, it's going to save you money
It
by
does.
asking a professional, like what, or even like a second pair of eyes, even if it's not a professional. Let's just say like you don't have the money to go hire somebody. Like go ask your friend. I think it's fun and to have that kind of like what Sue was saying, have people over, pay it forward, It's nice to bring, and this is something that I am obsessed with and I talk about a lot is that sense of connection, that sense of community. We don't hide behind our things. We think we want status. We think we want the perfect closet, the perfect wardrobe, clutter free. But ultimately, why do we want those things? We want those things so that we can connect with people. So we can be like, hey, come look at my house, or hey, check out what I'm wearing. It's all underneath it. It's about other people and it's about our feeling connected to other people. And I think it's cool how we can do that through this visual design thing. You
We
know,
all have a platform, and I mean, we're walking embodiments of the platform that we have, right? And then we have our surroundings, and we can control those things.
Even little things in the house, from tissue boxes. You can get a decorative tissue box. Home Goods is such a great resource. We're all clapping for Home Goods, right? Get those sheets, right? Erica's brilliant idea. Start with a great pair of sheets, a great set of sheets that just make you feel so yummy when you're going in your bedroom, and showcase them. Go watch a YouTube video on how to fold and dress a bed. Just little things, like I said, could be getting yourself a vase and filling flowers every week for your house, what that does for you. And then that might stimulate something further.
Another
ah,
really fun one and very inexpensive. I actually learned this through a good friend of mine when I went to visit her. She entertains a lot. Mouthwash. Going back to the sheets, this kind of is in conjunction with that. But she had these beautiful crystals jar, like a jar with a lid full of mouthwash in every bathroom and the little accoutrements that you may or may not need. But it was always there and always available for you. And she just did it and displayed it in such a nice way in each of the bathrooms that I mean, you feel welcomed as a guest when you're in that space and you're like, and you're seeing this beautiful vessel that this bright blue mouthwash is being displayed in, which makes it look lovely, right? So simple things like that.
Sue, where can we find you? What are all your platforms?
Sue Yerou. Just type in my name and you will find me everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, my website for sure, SueYerou.com. That's where I will be. Google Sue Yerou and say hello. Reach out to me, even if you have just some questions. Get on my calendar. Let's talk for 20 minutes. It's free, it's complimentary, it's my gift to you. Let's dive into some curiosities that you have and get you unstuck or celebrate you. Let's find a way.
I love that. Your website is gorgeous. So cool. Okay, so yeah, definitely Google Sue Yerou.
If anyone wants to work with me and their company to bring me in as an expert to speak with their teams, their women's groups, or sales teams to bring my style strategy workshop. It's customizable to each organization. That's something that I also offer
So
my services.
cool. Oh my gosh, what a great idea, Sue, because like you could have a group of women, like I'm just thinking like my daughter it goes to this charity. It's like for high schoolers, That's like a charity thing, but it's charity, but it's also like a excuse to hang out and it's like a social group. But to have you come to something like that would be so fun. People could bring parts of their out. Sorry, I'm just spitballing.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. You can bring something that's
Yeah.
encouraged. Is for someone to bring something in their wardrobe that they are either confused by or
Yeah.
want to wear differently. Then we can step into creating a style lounge, style strategy lounge, where I bring some accessories, I partner with other vendors and bring a whole lounge together, and people can come and talk to me one-on-one on what their goals are, or we can do real-time transformations or just a couple of different things. Contact Sue Yerou to build your private style strategy or bring her style strategy workshop to your corporate team.
Erika, where can we find you?
Yes, definitely Google Sue Yerou. She helped me a ton, so I can full on vouch for her services. For me, I am at PC Interior Designs. That is my website. I am also on all of the platforms. You can usually find me Park City Interior Designs. I will pop right up. I'm one of the top searches if you do that and put the S at the end. Park City Interior Designs with
You're
an
the top one. I just did it.
Okay, I'm the top one.
Yeah, you're the top one.
I am on Instagram. It's under PCID, Erika Carlucci. So usually Park City Interior Designs will get you to me on any platform, but it may not be my actual handle, PCID, or Erika Carlucci on any of those. I'm on House as well.
Contact designer Erika Carlucci and Park City Interior Designs for a collaborative approach to your interior design goals.
I should mention, Amber, also, I am teaching a course this fall. It may not be accessible for all of your viewers, but if you are in this local area, working on the details of that, if anybody was interested in an interior design course, it's myself and another interior designer teaching.
How cool. Is it just like the base? Do you even know yet? Is it the basics of interior design or?
We're still working on the structure, but yes, it would be very basic, it's not someone who, it just people that want to do it in their own home that need a little bit of a guidance through. Some people are just naturally creative in that way and don't need the guidance, and then other people really do. So I think it's more in line with the people that aren't as creative and want to be more creative.
It's interesting. I have a client she tells me, Amber, I have to invite my friend over because I don't like doing interior design. I don't know how to do it. Nothing, it stresses me out. And I think there's probably more people like that than
Um,
you hear about on Instagram or wherever you're watching, you're like, oh, I changed this and I changed that. So we tend to think because people share so much that most people love to do that, but it's not true. Some people hate doing design and they need that course. So
right.
yeah. Thank you guys. This has been so fun and so great. And thank you so much for being here. I just loved this conversation, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
Oh, love
Thank you
to.
both
It
so
was
much.
so fun. Thank you.
Loved it. Love hearing the tips also.
And like I said, I will link everything below. And yeah, thank you so much. We'll have to do it again soon.
Thank you, Amber.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
Amber.
Bye. Declutter Your Chaos with your host, Amber Cammidge, guest Erika Carlucci, interior designer from Park City Interior Designs, and Sue Yerou, your style strategist.